வளர்ச்சியும் வாய்ப்புகளும் தொடர தமிழும் தமிழகமும் தலைநிமிர மோடியின் கேரண்டி இருக்கு. இனி பயம் எதற்கு?
Bengaluru South 1-4. Sells generic medicines at 70% less than what branded medicine. Seen the impact of this firsthand. I started on a mission mode expanding the Janaushadhi Kendras in my constituency. In 2019, the year that I got elected, we had 14 Janaushadhi Kendras in Bengaluru South, 1-4. Today, after 5 years, we have 132 Janaushadhi Kendras in my constituency. Now 2 lakh people purchase medicines at 70% discount in these stores. The yearly savings of revenue is 25 crore rupees. Now I don't think Coimbatore today has 130 Janaushadhi Kendras. Do you have 130 Janaushadhi Kendras here? Friends, answer me. Have you seen these medical stores which sell Janaushadhi Kendra, generic medicines outside in this large number? No. You are not even aware of that, a scheme like this exists and it can be put into use. Now, when Annamalai becomes member of Parliament of Tamil Nadu's Coimbatore, you will have Janaushadhi Kendras like the way we have in Bengaluru South, and your parents, if they want to buy medicines, if your grandparents have to buy medicines, they can buy medicines at 80% discounted rate. Is this beneficial to you or not? This morning, you took this morning, we went to Annamalai and I went to meet the bishop here, Father Reverend Timothy. He mentioned to me how his son, who came from Munich and landed in Bengaluru's new international airport, said that Bengaluru's new international airport is stunning and it is better than Munich's airport. It was in the last 5 years that we built this new international airport. And UNESCO has declared that airport to be the world's most beautiful airport terminal. I am just giving you an example of what a good elected representative, tomorrow a leader of the caliber of Annamalai, can actually bring to Coimbatore. Akka, you will also remember, and especially the young voters here, all of you remember, that Coimbatore had faced the scourge of terror attacks. Do you remember? How many young students here remember that there were Coimbatore terror attack blasts? You all remember? Those who don't, please go and read up about the terror attacks that took place in Coimbatore. It is very important for us to be aware of this. Now, in Bengaluru, about 3 years ago, in an area called DJ Halli and KJ Halli in Bengaluru, there were widespread riots that took place. And after these riots, there were a few arrests made by the local police which indicated the existence of a few sleeper cells of terror organization in Bengaluru. Now what did I do? Right after this incident came up, I went to the country's home minister and I asked him to set up a branch office of the National Investigating Agency, the NIA, in Bengaluru. Within 2 months, Home Minister Amit Shah ji granted and set up an NIA office in Bengaluru. In 2 months. Now let me tell you the impact of this. You all must have heard in the news that in a month ago, in a cafe called Rameshwaram in Bengaluru, there was a bomb blast. Have you heard? So right after the incident was reported, along with the state police, immediately the NIA officials also reached the spot even before the evidence there got contaminated, and they launched the investigation. Today, if there is significant progress made in the investigation and we are very near to nab and arrest the culprits, it is because the central government, through our efforts, gave the NIA office to Bengaluru and kept Bengaluru safe. Just like Bengaluru is the economic center for Karnataka, Coimbatore is one of the emerging economic powerhouses of Tamil Nadu. And for sure, it is going to be on the radar of such anti-social elements who do not want the growth, peace, harmony and economic prosperity of Coimbatore. So to keep Coimbatore safe, you will need such interventions by members of parliament from Coimbatore. Has the previous MP from Coimbatore ever made a demand to set up an NIA office in Coimbatore? Have they even spoken about this? No. Which is another reason why you need to elect a leader of the capability of Annamalai. This is one reason after another I am telling you of how a same party MP will actually make a difference. The last reason before, I take your second question. When it was to get suburban rail for Bengaluru, when it was to get an NIA office to Bengaluru, whether it was to meet Jaishankar ji multiple times to impress upon him the need for US consulate in Bengaluru, as a BJP MP, I could straight walk into their chamber in Delhi and get the work for my constituency done. That is the culture of the BJP. I don't think there is a single MLA or a single MP in Tamil Nadu who can say, I can pick up the call and talk to MK Stalin directly and get work done from my constituency. 100% that culture is not there. There was this video recently on social media that you are all seeing. Stalin is sitting here, there is another minister sitting there, and the MP candidate is standing like this. Somewhere. And then even if he was being offered a chair, he was not having the guts to sit. Now can you think MPs of this kind, with political parties of this culture, can do anything at all, any good at all to a city like Coimbatore that deserves good governance? So these are the reasons why it is very important for us to elect not only capable leaders, but also leaders who have the right vision and the connect with the ruling party at the center. This is, I think, from my experience in the last 5 years, a very brief example of how a city like Coimbatore can actually emerge to be the economic bright spot in Tamil Nadu with a leader the kind of sincerity and leadership abilities like Annamalai can.
My next question to you is on behalf of one of the biggest voter groups, which is the women. I see there are a lot of women in the audience. The thing is, the Prime Minister has always talked about women-led development. He never says women's development. He never says women's empowerment. He says women-led empowerment, meaning that women are the true agents of change. Now, the problems and the opportunities that the women of Tamil Nadu face are very different from, say, women of Karnataka face, or women of Maharashtra face, or women of UP face. For example, here, the level of education is already high. There are no issues like nobody needs toilets here because they are already there. Those things are already met. So what is it that a double engine government or a MP from here who is a BJP MP and the strong BJP government at the center can do for women specifically of Tamil Nadu? Why should women vote for BJP or Annamalai?
Today, Annamalai is going to be announcing his manifesto for Coimbatore. So most of the answers to these questions will be found in the manifesto itself. But I want to give you a generic answer. I see women to be natural entrepreneurs. Multitasking comes very naturally to women. I will give you one instance, Akka, from an example that I encountered again in my constituency the last 2-3 years. 3 years ago, right after COVID, 3 women walked into my office. This is a very interesting story. I want all our young friends to listen to this, especially the girls in the audience. Right after COVID, 3 women walked into my office. By their very appearance, I could make out that they were very new to Bengaluru because the Kannada they spoke was North Karnataka Kannada, which is very different from what we speak in Bengaluru. One of them also had a small child in her arm, and you could make out that they came from the lowest socio-economic strata. And they walked up to me and said that they wanted to start a pickle making enterprise, what we in Kannada call Uppinkai. What is Uppinkai called in Tamil? So, to make this pickle enterprise, and that they had applied for a mudra loan. So there was a few, bureaucracy questions asked by the local bank official, and they had not got their mudra loan. So I called up the bank manager and I told them to sanction the loan for this, provided the documents, etc., help them in getting it done. So the 3 women got a small loan of about 1.2 lakh rupees to start a small pickle making enterprise in their own house. Now, about 6 months ago, these 3 women come to my office again with 3 large baskets in hand, with so many, different boxes and, appalams and all of these, roti, this, that, everything in the box, all packed nicely with a gift wrap, this thing, and they gave it to me as a gift. And I asked, what is this? They said, we started with a seed fund of 1,20,000 something rupees. We were the 3 people. In the veranda of our house, we had started this enterprise. Today, we have 16 people that we employ, and all over Karnataka, we are giving this. We are supplying this to all these different stores. We even got an order from More to officially supply to more. And now that we have put our child in this good school, because we are able to afford the fees to pay to the school, I was very happy. I congratulated them and I said thank you, and I was about to leave. Just when I was about to leave back into my room, one of those ladies again said, Anna, I have one more ask. I said, tell me, Akka, what is it? They said, our relatives are telling us that in Australia and in Middle East, there is a large demand for appalams and pickles. We want to export it. Can you help us get an export-import license? This is New India. This is New India. Over the last 5 years, 10 years, you will be astounded to hear this number. 45 crore individual loans have been given under the Mudra Yojana. 45 crore. Now, close to 50% of these loans are given to women entrepreneurs. I have always believed that women have a very innate taking to entrepreneurship, to hustle, to multitask, manage multiple things, and do it at ease. I just gave you one example of 3 women from the most bottom socio-economic strata who have now achieved financial independence. Now tomorrow, when Annamalai becomes the Member of Parliament from Coimbatore, I can guarantee you there will be hundreds and hundreds of such stories of women entrepreneurs who will be empowered in Coimbatore. I will give you one more instance of why I think electing somebody like him is again beneficial to women. Again, I want to give our own experience, Akka, because it's easier for me to relate and give. In cities like Bengaluru, in cities like Coimbatore, especially the young girls sitting here, most of the girls are all exposed to social media. Do you all have Instagram accounts? The girls here, can you raise your hands? Those who have Instagram accounts, Facebook accounts, Twitter accounts, you're all active on social media, no? Over the last 6-7 years, the cases of online harassment of women is on the rise. Using artificial intelligence and deep fake technologies, our young girls are being exposed to vulnerabilities by certain people. Now, cyber crime is a very serious issue in this country. And the more and more digital that we are becoming as a society and as an economy, the more vulnerable we will become to digital and cyber attacks. In the last 5 years, in our constituency, we have set up a dedicated cyber cell police station. And most of the cases there are registered by young girls who face online harassment, whose pictures are many times morphed using deep fake and such technologies, and who cannot go to anywhere for help. For me, the experience of having worked as a lawyer came to help. But in the instance of a leader like Annamalai, who has served as a police officer and a very efficient one at that, I can tell you, when he becomes your member of parliament, he will be the guardian angel, the savior protector of every single woman and girl in Coimbatore, of their reputation, of their honor, of protecting them. How many more reasons you need to elect a man of this kind? I want to leave one last instance. Now, the government of India gives special grants and encouragement to companies that are founded by a woman. So under the Startup India scheme, single woman director companies get special grants. Just this morning when I was, walking on Racecourse Road, I was seeing so many establishments, cafes, new, startups, all coming up in different places of Coimbatore. This is a burgeoning economy. I'm sure there will be so many young girls sitting here outside of this auditorium who would want to start a company of their own as a single woman director. Now what I did in our constituency was, we have set up the country's first and only startup exclusive SBI branch in Koramangala in our constituency. Now if you are a startup, if you have an idea, if you have a business plan, all you need to do is to walk into that bank office. From entry to exit, from incorporating your company to giving you funding support, that bank branch will help you exclusively as a startup. Now tomorrow, when Annamalai gets a similar SBI startup exclusive branch set up in Coimbatore, the girls sitting here who would want to or aspire to start a business of their own, incorporate a company of their own, but come from very normal middle class families, do not have family wealth to use as seed capital, you can walk into such bank branches, get the seed capital loan that is required to fund your dreams, and emerge as the next big entrepreneurs that India is awaiting. These are some simple examples I'm giving of how a good effective leader can actually make an impact on all of your lives.
Next, I'm going to ask you a rather bigger question than just electoral politics. There is propaganda which is done by regional parties, mainly from the south and some central parties also, that your party is basically a north-centric party. It's a cow belt party is what they call it. And here are the full questions. So they're trying to say that north and south are basically two different countries culturally. We are artificially together, but south has a different culture and north has a different culture, and that is why the MP of Wayanad has also said that the north thinks differently, the south thinks differently, and there's a very dangerous game being played here of secessionism and of trying to say that the south, that collectively, is basically cross-subsidizing the north. The south is more educated, more entrepreneurial, paying more taxes, and the north is a burden. That's why Bharat as an entity is artificial, and at some point of time, South India should secede. At least that is the most dangerous narrative that's being played.
Yes.
First of all, before I ask you that question, I want to ask this audience, do you think that North India is not India or only you are India? Or do you think you are a part of one country, regardless of where you go? So now I want to hear from you, because the South has collectively, Kerala, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra and Telangana have got 130 seats basically. And the constant criticism that is laid against BJP is that, okay, you may max out in UP, you may max out in MP, you may max out in Rajasthan, but South mein aapka kuch hai nahi. You don't have a presence here. You are an MP from Bangalore South and you've travelled extensively. So what is your opinion on this?
So first of all, Akka, I am not just an MP from Bangalore, which is south of Karnataka, south of India. Even there I am MP from South Bangalore. So I am uniquely qualified to speak on this north-south divide. Now, for a very long time, those people, those interest groups, which do not wish well for the country, do not wish well for the integrity of this country, have always tried to create artificial fault lines among people and tried to divide them. Now, why is this important? Now, suppose there are 5 people sitting in a room. You know, this audience is sitting here. Okay, now I want to emerge as the leader for people sitting here on the left side of the auditorium. Now, my easiest is, I will start telling that those sitting on the left side of the auditorium are very, very different from those sitting on the right side of the auditorium. Now, naturally, what I will do is I will start putting in a sense of you are different from him in so and so ways. Now, who is it going to benefit at the end? It is benefiting me. But now that I want to prove that you are different and he is different, I will start inventing the arguments to say and prove my theory of how you are different from mine. Now I will start saying, see, on the left side, I see more girls sitting than boys. We are different. I see on the left side people wearing blue shade shirts more than the ones sitting on the right side. On the left side, I see, boys a little more well built than the boys on the right side. So I will even say that their genetic makeup is different. So when you have to push an argument to already prove your prejudice, to already buttress your biases, then you will start finding new and new arguments. You start innovating arguments. Now, this is exactly what has happened in the case of the Dravidian parties trying to say that the north of India is different from the south of India. In the last 3 years, I have traveled 3 lakh kilometers across India, almost every state 2 to 3 times. And I can tell you, Akka, with absolute conviction, that the more I travel India, the more I realize how one we are. Now, when I went to Manipur, I have seen your pictures as well. Many friends, our young friends from Tamil Nadu will be very shocked to know this. I want all of you, after this program, to go on YouTube and search for traditional Manipuri food. Okay? So in Manipur, people actually sit on the floor and eat on leaves, plantain leaves and other leaves, just like how we eat in the south of India. It is very different, but it is also same at the same time. In our culture, in some cultures you start the food serving by first serving salt. In some you start serving from sweet. Even in Manipur, I was told that there are certain cultures where they start serving with salt and some with sweet. There is so much of similarity. Now you go to Manipur, our BJP Karyakartas put the shawl around you and then they welcome you and say, welcome to Manipur, the land where Krishna stole Rukmini from. This is how they introduce. From there, you go to, say, Ayodhya. So when I went to Ayodhya, one of our Karyakartas put a shawl around me and said, sir, welcome to Ayodhya, the land of Ram. You are coming from the land of Hanuman. Because Hanuman is, Karnataka is considered the birthplace of Hanuman. So there is so much of similarity. Our epics, our itihasas, the Ramayana and the Mahabharata, they have united us. Why was the Prime Minister at Ramanathapuram? Why was he at Srirangam? Why was he in Lepakshi in Andhra Pradesh? He was in all of these places because that was the route that Rama had taken when he was on the way to Sri Lanka. Now, at least from my experience, I can tell you, in Karnataka, you will find at least 100 villages, 100, where people will say, Sir, Sita's earring fell here, or Arjuna had slept here during Vanavasa, or some such instance. Now forget everything else. If you go to Chennai and you take the ECR, 45-50 minutes drive from Chennai, you will reach Mahabalipuram. Now Mahabalipuram, the chariots there are all named after the Pancha Pandavas. Now if Pandavas were a creation of the North Indian Aryans, then why will you build chariots for them in the southernmost part of Tamil Nadu? So these are the multiple cultural instances which show that we are one as a nation. Now one more instance. In Varanasi, there is an Annapurneshwari temple. The same Annapurneshwari temple you find here in Tamil Nadu, in Kanchipuram. And there is an instance there are stories between this Annapurneshwari and the Annapurneshwari in Varanasi. So, for a long, long time, this country has always been culturally one, which is why Diana Eck, the famous Indologist, in her book, India, the Sacred Geography, notes that India is not one, Bharat is not one, because of the power of kings and governments, but Bharat is one because of the footsteps of the pilgrims. So we have always been one as a nation, we have had this oneness everywhere, but unfortunately to prove the cultural prejudices or political prejudices of a certain party, arguments are being invented every single day, from genetic to linguistic, to try to prove that we are different. And I am very confident that in the coming years, the young of Tamil Nadu will reject such bogus arguments whole and soul. If today in the Indian Army, we see the Madras Regiment and we see the young people from Tamil Nadu sacrificing their blood and sweat to protect the integrity of Kashmir, it shows that we are all one as Indians. When General Bipin Rawat's body was being brought from the Nilgiris from St. Wellington. So Wellington, right? Nilgiris. Wellington to Chennai. There were literally lakhs of people who came on the streets and paid their respects to General Bipin Rawat. How can you say that this is not a part of the country? These are all, like I said, Akka, bogus arguments that the young of Tamil Nadu are waiting to reject at elections.
Very well said. I could never understand that in a land where 1000 years ago Rajendra Chola went to the Ganga, he took Gangaikonda as his upadhi and got the water from the river and put it in a tank and built a whole new capital called Gangaikonda Cholapuram. People from that region can say that we have got no connection. You are absolutely right. Now my last question to you do we have time for audience questions? Okay. So my last question to you before I open the floor. Modi ji, to me, in the last 10 years, and I have been, as an analyst, I have been following his career very closely. He seems to be like a man in a hurry. Like he wants to put everything in place. So I want to ask you if 2014 was an election of hope, because people then were not necessarily voting for Modi ji. They were voting against the Congress because they were really tired of the corruption, they were tired of the mismanagement, they were tired of the grinding poverty. So they hoped that they would get change. 2019 was basically the election of delivery, election of fulfillment of promises, because in 5 years Modi ji had put lots of big rocks in place, like the Mudra loans, like financial inclusion, whatever. In 2024, in one word, if I have to ask you, what is this election about?
Aspiration. If 2014 was about getting rid of the sins of the past, and if 2019 was about correcting the mistakes of the past and delivery on legacy issues, correcting legacy issues, 2024 is an election where we are collectively voting to meet the aspirations of a new, young India.
Well,
It's Didi, to be very honest, in the very first question you asked, the very first question, and then we digressed. What is it that young people in the country want? Okay, what is it that we want? At least for me, in my extensive interactions with young people, 3 or 4 broad themes arrive. 1, naturally when you are young, you are innately idealistic. Which is why all around the world you will see most of the revolutionary movements have young as their recruits. Because the young want idealism, they want right things. Because the system, the society reality has still not tamed them. Which is why when you are young, you have vibrant dreams. And then as you get older, people say, okay, now reality artha madko, in what we say in Kannada now, understand reality, come to terms. When you're young, you are innately idealistic. You're innately anti-establishment because you don't accept anything wrong. Who were the foot soldiers of the Anna Hazare movement? Who were the people who supported Baba Ramdev on the streets when he sat, fighting against corruption? It was volunteers like me who went there and joined. Because we wanted an end to corruption in the government. We did not want governments to be like an organized syndicate group of corrupt people. So I think the very first aspiration of young India is corruption-free governance, which Prime Minister Modi has delivered the last 10 years. Second, Akka, I have travelled, like I said, 3 lakh kilometers. Whether it is Bihar, whether it is Ladakh, whether it is Arunachal Pradesh, or whether it is Coimbatore or interiors of Coimbatore, my friends here will be a testimony. Which young Indian today does not want to wear nice clothes? Who does not want a standard of living? If you go to hinterland, if you go to these small stores, you will find hundreds of counterfeit Adidas, slippers, Adidas shoes. In some cases, you will find these sunglasses. It will not be Ray-Ban, it will be Ray-Ban. Have you seen them? Have you seen? I'm asking the young in the audience. Ray-Ban will cost you 8,000 in a showroom. But Ray-Ban will look almost similar. You will get it at 150 rupees on the street. And you will still see a young guy taking that Ray-Ban and wearing and just going on his bike. Now this is aspirational. This aspiration for a better standard of living, better quality of life, this is what is fueling the dreams of young India. Now, the young of India know that only fast-paced, stable economic growth can actually provide them this kind of a upgrade in standard of living. You cannot go back to the days of the Congress time when inflation was double digit and growth was single digit. This is the aspiration of a new India, which is why the young also realize that we need fast-paced economic growth because we need to upgrade our life. We want to lead a good life. Now let me give you another interesting statistic. I'm sure a few of you who follow me on social media would have come across this sensational headline in the last few days after I filed my election affidavit. Tejasvi Surya's assets increased 30-fold. You may have seen this. And suddenly you had all these, leftist ecosystem, the Wire, the Quint and the likes, publishing these big headlines. Sensational headline. BJP MP Tejasvi Surya's affidavit says that his assets have increased 30 times in 5 years. Now, naturally, you are a politician, people will be, bhai, kuch to kiya hai lo, bada. Like, something you would have done. Then niche you will have comments. Tell us also the secret. How did you make, your assets grow 30-fold in 5 years? Now it's a different matter that, it's because, when sensation headline is put, nobody goes into the article. Nobody goes to see that when you start from 13 lakh rupees in your first affidavit 5 years ago, even if you would have come to 25 lakh rupees, the headline could have said Tejasvi Surya doubles his income in, in 5 years. Okay? Now let me tell all of you young people. 5 years ago, 2017 I had started my law firm. So apart from my earning as the salary that I get as an MP from Bangalore, my primary source of income is my law practice in Bangalore. In 2019, I started investing in SIPs. I started with a 1,000 rupee SIP in the mutual funds. Okay? Over the last 5 years, I would save every penny and immediately invest it in the mutual funds or stock market or, capital markets. In 2014, when Modi ji became Prime Minister for the first time, India's Sensex was at 25,000. Today, India's Sensex is at 75,000. So, if you had put 100 rupees in an index fund in 2014, by natural course of action, it would have become 3 times in the last 10 years. And do you know who was the smartest investor in the last 10 years?
Why not?
Rahul Gandhi. So Rahul Gandhi goes all over the world bad-mouthing the Prime Minister, says Make in India is bad. He says, Startup India is not working. He says Digital India is not working. Throughout the world, he goes bad-mouths India's economy. But silently, he has invested in India's capital market and he is from 14 lakh rupees, around 6 crore rupees he has earned. So my point is, the young of India realize that to become financially independent, to earn through ethical means, to upgrade their quality of life, India needs fast-paced economic growth, and only a stable polity under the leadership of Narendra Modi can deliver fast-paced economic growth to young of India. The third and the last point as to why I think the young would want the Modi government again. I want the young in the audience to actually do this exercise. Okay? Over the last 10 years, India has registered the least number of communal riots in the history of the country. This is a very important point on which I want all of us to reflect upon. The last 10 years has seen the least amount of communal riots in the country. Because for a very long time, the country's political ecosystem benefited by pitting one religion against another, one caste another against another, and perpetually creating a fault line. The biggest of communal riots in India has all taken place under the watch of the Congress party. The young of India are fed up with communal politics. The young of India want to reject politics which pits one community versus another community. The young of India are fed up of politics that divides the country in the name of religion. We want a politics that unites people, that prioritizes development and growth, and creates an atmosphere of harmony and fosters a national spirit. Over the last 10 years, statistics, facts show that the least amount of registered cases of communal riots have undertaken under the leadership of the Narendra Modi government. So we want to move towards a society that is more harmonious, a society that treats everybody with respect, a society that tolerates and accepts people with all their diversity. And this, I think, is also the third and also very important factor why the young would overwhelmingly vote in favor of Narendra Modi, and here in Coimbatore in favor of the dynamic Annamalai to be your member of parliament. Thank you so much, Akka. Thank you.
Before I open the floor to questions, I just hope and invite you as a curator of Western Ghats Literature Festival that in October we should see a session with you as the second time MP of South Bangalore and Annamalai as the first time MP of Coimbatore.
Absolutely.
I open the floor to questions from the audience.
We will take some questions from the back. Looks like the seniors in the front are more eager and enthusiastic than the young in the back. Can we? Yes. The gentleman who rose now.
Good morning, sir. I am Vignesh. I am studying MCOM final year. My question is, the Grand Old Party of India has last week announced that in their manifesto they brought about 1 lakh per year, but the manifesto prepared by senior leader Praveen Chakravarti, he said the promise will not be able to fulfill everybody. He itself, on the other hand, double standard on this statement. What is your opinion?
Brother, I didn't hear you fully. The speakers are that side. We don't have a monitor this side. What? Congress manifesto 1 lakh per house.
But their senior leader has said they can't fulfill that.
Who has said?
Praveen Chakravarti.
Praveen Chakravarti. Yeah. Brother, Praveen Chakravarti need not say it. You also know that they cannot fulfill it. Do you think government can give 1 lakh rupees to everybody every month if you just sit at home? Every year or every month doesn't matter because they'll anyway not do it. So do you think it is possible?
No.
From a very simple perspective, if you sit at home without earning any money, can you become wealthy? Can somebody take care of you?
No.
It's as simple as that. Now, let me give you an instance, brother, now that you all have brought this subject up. Now what the Congress party and parties like Aam Aadmi Party, DMK, others are trying to do, the India Alliance, is that they are telling you, you just sit at home, we will give you a dole of, A, B, C something. Okay? This is not going to be empowering you. Now example, now Aam Aadmi Party originally started this in Delhi, and in Karnataka, Congress party implemented it in a half-hearted manner. What was this promise? That 200 units of electricity we will give you free every month. Okay? Now, where will you get money to give 200 units free? Those who are already paying money, the bills of those people increased. So earlier, if we were getting 500 rupees as electricity charges, we were now getting 3000 rupees as electricity charge. So this is cross subsidization. This is one model. The second, you will take a loan somewhere. Now Karnataka government has already breached the FRBM limits and they have taken mad loans everywhere. And almost in just last 8 months, on an average for every Karnataka person, 35,000 is the new loan that the state government has made. Now, who is going to be paying these loans? The future generations will keep paying these loans. It's not that if government makes a loan, you don't have to pay it. You will have to pay it through taxes, you will have to pay it through a slow economy, you will have to pay it through inflation. Now, this is one model. Third, now what happens through 200 units free you are giving? As a result of that, the electric distribution companies are making huge losses. So to subsidize them, you take a loan somewhere else and you give money and burn it. Now this is one model. Now there is a second model, that is the Modi model. Now what did Modi ji do? He said, I will give you 75% subsidy to put rooftop solar on the terrace of your house. Whatever you will earn, if you produce more than 300 units, you can sell it to government and we will give you money, but we will also give you 300 units of electricity free. Are you understanding my point? So on one hand, you have a very temporary, immediate freebie that is being doled out, which is a loss for everybody. Loss for the consumer, loss for the cross subsidizer, loss for the distribution company, loss for the government. But it is immediate political gain for a political party that is desperate to win elections. Now on the other hand, you have the PM Suryodaya, where Prime Minister says, you put 20 rupees or 15 rupees, 85% you get subsidy, 85% money I will put, you put a solar rooftop on your house, you will earn money out of it, up to 300 rupees for free you use it, whatever additional 300 units that you will produce, sell it to government, I am going to give you money for that. So this is win for consumer, win for house owner, win for the distributor, win for government, and this is the Narendra Modi model. Are my young friends understanding the difference? Yeah? Which is a better model? The second model is a better model because this is a long-term sustaining model. This is not going to bankrupt you nor bankrupt the government. Correct? Yeah. Any other question?
Namaste, sir. I'm Shalini, sir. I just want to ask about your personal life. Do you even consider it, or how do you manage your personal life after entering into politics?
Well, you don't have to manage something that does not exist. Politics is a very demanding profession. So it takes up a lot of your time. You're always among public. You're always traveling one program or the other. So it takes from outside it is, people think it to be a very glamorous, profession. But it involves a lot of hard work. It involves a lot of travel, lot of sacrifice. I'm sure all of you have very closely seen from close quarters how during the Makkal Yatra, Annamalai was on the road day and night, and how that has taken a massive toll on his physical health. So this is a very demanding profession. So whatever little time you get, even if you get, the 15 minutes by yourself in the shower, or 10 minutes you wake up and you have 10 minutes before you start getting ready for the day. I think you start valuing those 10 minutes, 12 minutes like a very precious 10 minutes. So I think that's what it is. And honestly, all those family members who belong to a political person's family, they must also be greatly respected because they sacrifice a lot. So I think that is what it is. Yeah, thank you. Anything else? Yeah, the young guy there. Yeah.
So, I'm Chandru from Kongunadu Arts and Science College. So, most of the EDs are under control by BJP. What are your thoughts on it?
ED?
Yes, sir.
Brother, because most of the corrupt are with DMK. So, naturally the perception is that a certain political party or organization is controlling a particular institution. Now, forget the ED for a minute. Do you believe that the courts in India are at least independent? Brother, you believe courts are independent?
Courts.
Court. High Court, Supreme Court.
Courts are by the government, right?
No, they are part of the government sit-up. But they function independently, no?
Yes.
So, assuming for a minute that ED is a handmaiden of the BJP, is in control of the BJP and puts a case on somebody because of political vendetta, they can go to court.
Yes.
They can go to court, and if the court finds that there is no evidence, they will be released. They will be acquitted honorably. But in most of these instances, whether it is the liquor scam in Delhi or in the teacher scam in West Bengal or the 100 of scams that happen in Tamil Nadu, I have lost count of the corruption scandals here. In all of these instances, when these people have approached courts, the court has always conceded that there is a prima facie case that ED has always made out. Yeah, next.
So good morning.
It's very interesting to see, young people participate in this interaction. It also gives an insight on what you're thinking. Go ahead.
So good morning. My name is Benjamin.
Sorry?
My name is Benjamin Steve, and I'm from Kongunadu Arts and Science College.
Go ahead, brother. I'm not able to hear because of the mic. Yeah, Benjamin, go ahead.
Sir, my question is that first when I saw you, you are a very young, talented, educated. And,
have I become old now?
No, I'm just saying my view right now. And you look really cute, I think so.
Cute?
Yeah, why not? Everyone is cute in the world, right?
Brother, I am straight.
Okay. So my opinion is that since you are a very young member of parliament, as a future generation and now young generation right now, I want to participate in the future politics. So if I want to get into politics, what would be your piece of advice on that? Thank you.
Benjamin, I would want you to come to politics. I would want young people like you to come into politics in large numbers because the country needs young, sincere, hard-working young people to come to politics. Otherwise, this country will not change. But let me also tell you, the role that you as a voter has to facilitate your entry. Now, very important. Let this be the last question. Let's end with this. I have been speaking 7-8 hours every day the last 20-30 days and my throat has really... Okay, one last for 40 plus. So, Benjamin, you asked a very interesting, very important question, brother. I have worked in the BJP for at least 7-8 years, even before I became an MP. Let me tell you that a lot of young people try to come to understand politics, to enter politics, but they go back disillusioned. The attrition rate is very high. Do you know what is the reason? The reason is it takes an enormous amount of money to fight elections in the country and emerge victorious. You know why it needs a lot of money? Because, one second, brother, one second. We'll decide later. Now, before you want to aspire to become a leader tomorrow, my request to all of you is to become a responsible elector and a voter today. Okay? I will tell you why. Now, look at this. If election comes, whether it is an MP election or an MLA election, you know the kind of money DMK and ADMK and such parties spend here. For one MLA election, they spend 30 to 40 crores. For an MP election, they spend something like 50 to 60 crores. Do you have 50 crores to spend on an election, Benjamin? Does anybody in this audience, the young people sitting here, please raise your hands. Even if one person has even 10 crores to blow on an election, please raise your hands. Anybody here? Not a single hand is going up. Why? Because we don't inherit the kind of monetary legacy and political legacy that Udaynidhi Stalin has inherited, brother. The reason why he has no competition from people like you is because your father has not looted the state like how his father has looted. Now, what that does is, young people who come from normal families, somebody like an Annamalai, they will never stand a chance in politics if people like you do not support him. Which is why I will go back to the most important point that I tried to make at the very first instance, that please go out and vote. Now I assume, Benjamin, if tomorrow DMK will come to your house and says, I will give you 5,000 rupees and a cooker and a microwave oven to vote, will you still vote for them? You will not vote, will you? Will anybody sitting here vote? Which is why DMK will never come and give you this thing. But there is a large section of society which can be swayed to vote in a particular way by giving 500 rupees, by giving biryani, by giving sari, by giving fridge, microwave, goat, chicken, etc. Correct or not? Now when you don't go out and vote, what happens is, you start feeling that your vote does not make a difference. So you don't go out and vote. So those whose votes can be bought or influenced in a particular way, they will go out and vote. Now to continuously keep them tended to give them money, what will the politician do? The politician will call the local contractor who is building that bridge near your house, who is laying the asphalting or tar on your house road, and tell him, instead of putting 6 inches of tar, you put 3 inches, the remaining 3 inches you give me money. Are you understanding the whole cycle? So what happens? The road that is supposed to last for 3 monsoons will only last 1 monsoon. Why do you have so many potholes everywhere in the city? It is because of this political corruption. Now, because there is already a minister and the minister has already made so much money, and to fight next elections, you will again need 50 crore rupees to win that election, to fight that election, because these guys have made elections so expensive. And they anyway know that people like you whose money, whose votes cannot be bought, will not anyway come out and vote. What will he do? He will say, I will spend 55 crores in this election. Instead of giving 1,000 rupees per vote, this time he will say, I will give you 3,000 rupees per vote. Now, will you be able to contest against it? Will you even dare to join a political party and say, I will also contest, give me also ticket, I will also contest? The reason why young people have a glass ceiling, who come from normal families have a glass ceiling, they can never enter politics, is because of this. So naturally what happens? You go, you are aspiring for a ticket from Coimbatore or from any other party, any other seat. You have to spend 50 crores. You don't have 50 crores. So who will be contesting? The son or daughter of that minister only will contest. And all of us, like, poor souls, will go behind these people doing jai jai for them all of our life. Are you understanding or not? So even though you will be capable, even though you are far more capable than any of those people put together, you will still have to do chaprasi work for them, because you don't have the 50 crore that he has, that his father has earned through illegal means, looting the state to win and fund his son's election. In Karnataka, you will be shocked. Congress party announced its candidates. In 12 seats out of 28 seats in Karnataka, daughters and sons of the sitting cabinet ministers are the candidates. Sir, Congress is learning the DMK model and implementing it in Karnataka. It was already there. Is this not the same case? Are you resonating with what I am trying to say? Now, I will tell you something. If you go on my YouTube 2 years ago, you will find a podcast that I have recorded with a young guy called Vinay Kumar. So this guy comes from a very normal family, tried to crack IAS, was unsuccessful, came to Bangalore, started an IAS coaching center, has trained thousands of young people to compete in IAS examinations. Very successful guy. Self-made guy. He's a Congress party supporter. I knew this even before I even recorded an interview with him. But because he's a youngster who is aspiring to come up in life, I still went and recorded this interview with him 2 years ago, because I firmly believe whichever party we are in, we must support each other as young people. So I went and supported him and recorded this interview. He was this time asking for a ticket from Congress party in a seat called Davangere. Congress party did not give him the seat. Instead gave the wife of a minister, because that wife's minister can spend 100 crores. Now this guy is frustrated, this guy is angry, he is out. Now this can happen to you also. You can never be in competition with these guys. So does that mean in Karnataka and in instances where all these children are contesting in Tamil Nadu, do you think in 12 seats in Karnataka, there is not a single guy who is more capable of these children of the Congress ministers? You know why they cannot compete? They cannot compete just because elections have become so freaking prohibitively expensive. Which is why my request to you, if you want to succeed tomorrow, make sure Annamalai succeeds today. Because Annamalai is one amongst us. His father did not hand down 100 crores to him. His father has not handed down a political seat to him. He is where he is today because he has bloody earned it. So tomorrow when you go out and vote in Coimbatore, if the day after you want to aspire to be somebody in politics, if you aspire to create a more equal playing field for every youngster, then come, let's bloody break these shackles, these glass ceilings, and elect one of our own who will actually create a level playing field for all of us. Which is why my appeal to you and through you to all the young people of Coimbatore. If you believe that as a common youngster tomorrow you must also dream big, then vote for one who is our own. Somebody who understands us, somebody who is like us,
Digital
somebody who
discount
comes
days
from
are
a background
here. Get
like
up to
us.
10.
Then there will at least be a hope that tomorrow the world will become a more flatter place.
வளர்ச்சியும்
And
வாய்ப்புகளும்
even we
தொடர
people can
தமிழும்
aspire,
தமிழகமும்
common
தலைநிமிர
people can aspire to be CM of Tamil Nadu. Please do that, brother. Thank you. I took a lot of time.